Hi, my name's Chris Chambers. I'm a product scientist, and I'm here today to talk about the TEROS borehole installation tool. The installation can be one of the sources of error in your soil moisture data set, and so we built this tool to help you install sensors more quickly with a higher quality installation so that you get the best possible soil moisture data. So the things we need to assemble are our auger, which are these pieces, the handle, the core, and then an extension kit and our handle mount, and the tool itself, which are the end piece with the actuator arm, the lever, and an extension piece. Okay, let's set up our auger first, and we're just gonna plan on a 1 meter hole right now. So we need this section and this section, and we just line up the notch with the hole and slide the sleeve down over that. And this just fits together and you've got a good solid connection. Last, we have our handle, and it only fits in one way. So just slide it in, and then you can turn it to screw it in. And now we're ready to dig a 4-inch borehole, which is the exact size needed by the T-bit. If we wanted to do a 2-meter hole, we would use this 1-meter extension, and it goes on the same way with the same style of sleeve and catch here. Okay, now we are going to assemble the tool part of the T-bit. And for a 1-meter installation, we need this part, which is the business end, and the handle end. We've got these two ends. We've got the inner rod and these two buttons here. And first, we just want these two buttons to get pushed in and lined up as we line up the inner rod, and then we'll push in the inner rod, and then these two will snap into place. And we use our mechanical advantage for the inner rod. Now for an extension, say you want to do a 2-meter hole, and I've installed some up to 3 meters. It's actually super fun. We have the same elements, it's the same principle. Install your extension first at this end, and then the handle will install the same way at the other end. The T-bit will work for many different types of meter sensors. The TEROS 11 and 12 have a carriage, as well as the TEROS 10. Blaze orange for the Solix 14. We've got a special little pusher tool, and 2 pieces for the TEROS 21. So I have TEROS 12s. I'm going to slide it in on the bottom first, and then it just pushes down like that. And the carriage is ready to install or uninstall. So to put our TEROS 12 in, we're going to extend the carriage, place the sensor, and note, in this configuration, the sensor loosely just kind of sits in here. This is so that when it's driven into the sidewall, when the arm retracts, the sensor will just be left behind in the soil. But when it's pulled in, the sensor is firmly held by the tool, so that when you're putting it into the hole, you don't have to worry about knocking it or it coming loose if you nick a tree root or something like that. And then when the sensor is in the hole, you just extend the arm to install it into the sidewall. And let's take this off. Suppose I want TEROS 10s. To take the carriage off, I'm going to push in on these two these two little wings right here, and then it just comes off. Here's the TEROS 10 carriage. We're just going to pop that in there the same way. The TEROS 10 works in exactly the same principle. And it's snugly fit in there. The TEROS 21 is fairly tricky to install. The T-bit can help in very nice soils. Really, there's many situations where the T-bit is not going to be suitable for installing the TEROS 21. It will work in almost all cases for TEROS 12s, TEROS 10s. The water content sensors go in really nicely. This form factor requires a pilot hole first, and then you need to get the sensor into the exact same pilot hole that you just made. So in certain situations like dry clays, it's going to be tricky to get a good installation. But in silt loams, but for the TEROS 21, here's our pilot hole tool. There we go. So you snap that in, make a pilot hole, retract it. Again, I'm pulling on these two wings to take it off. When we're putting it on the TEROS 21 carriage, it's going to sit in here with the cable going through this slot and the ceramic being supported by this knobby thing. And this will get held in here until you place this back into the exact same slot that you had just made with your pilot tool. Now that might seem kind of tricky to find the same spot, but we have some tools to help. So we have our soil collar, which once you dig your borehole is going to sit in here just like this. And we have a little stop that you'll clamp on at the desired depth so that when you are putting this back in the hole, it will sit in here and you can find it. We'll demonstrate this when we're actually ready to install a sensor in the ground. But this just kind of clamps on here. And then we can tighten that down. And this will hold in place. And say we wanted to install it at 70 centimeters. We would move the guide down to 70 centimeters and then clamp it into place. And now we're ready to install our sensor at 70 centimeters. Some cautions when you're installing sensors. If the sensor becomes unseated, let's say with the TEROS 12, when you get your sensor positioned, watch it as it goes down the hole to make sure that the sensor isn't getting dislodged. This is held pretty firmly, but you can actually, a tree root catching one of these needles can actually knock it off. I can't do it very well by hand, so it's pretty robust, but if you do see something like this, where it's a little bit cockeyed, like this, do not proceed with installing it. It will mash your sensor. The sensor needs to be fully flush when it goes into the sidewall, otherwise you're at risk of damaging your sensor. This is how you assemble your TEROS borehole installation tool. Please view our next video on how to actually get the sensors into the ground and to get the best possible installation for excellent soil moisture data.